Hi, this is Amy and Janet from Wonders and Arts, and we are here at Michael's today because our youngest sister, Julie, the unprepared crafter, has decided that we're going to do a craft for her today. So what did she do? She called us and said, hey, can I come to Janet's house and make some candles? And we said, okay, sure, we'll help you. And then we discovered, did she have the wax?
No.
Did she have any wicks?
No.
Did she have a plan?
Absolutely not.
Nothing at all. She had containers. That's all she had, was containers. So we are here at Michael's picking up wicks, wax, and other materials to make candles with. Okay, we are back from the Michael's. We are at Janet's house and we are getting ready to make some candles as soon as Julie shows up. So what we got at the Michael's, we got some wax, which was
$14.39.
and these boiling bags so we don't ruin Mom's pot that we are borrowing.
Those were $3.49.
$3.49. We got 2 sets of short wicks because Julie's got little yogurt containers that we are making candles with.
Those are $3.49.
$3.49 each. And we've got some turquoise coloring so we can make candles that are not plain white.
$3.49 as well.
$3.49. We got vanilla fragrance oil.
I think that was $3.49 as well.
Okay.
See a theme here.
Lavender fragrance oil.
$3.49.
Okay. And a 3-pack of coconut lime, ocean waves, and tropical pineapple fragrance oils.
Those were $8.99.
$8.99. So our grand total was?
With a 20% off coupon, it was $41.02.
$41.02. How much of this did Julie pay?
$0.
$0. Julie didn't pay any of it yet. We'll see what happens. So we have borrowed some pots from Mom. You want to grab that? Yes. We've got a pot from Mom that we are going to put the boiling bags in with some water to melt the candles. And then when Julie gets here with the containers, we will make some candles. And this is not a tutorial. This is the first time we've done this. So hopefully it won't be a disaster.
There we go. And we're back with the missing sister. This is Julie. She was a little late to the party here. She did, however, bring some of the supplies that we needed to make these candles. So what we're using is the glass containers that this yogurt comes in. It's very delicious, very useful for things other than candles as well. I think Amy uses it to put water in when she does watercoloring. So we're using this. So this is what it looks like after it's been cleaned. And just as a few other things, we're using some of these wooden bamboo skewers, some painter's tape, trusty painter's tape, a little silicone mold for some excess wax that we have experienced. These came from IKEA a few years ago. And a glue gun, trusty glue gun. This is the cheapest glue gun you could probably ever find. And then we did try to use some of these Crayola sprinkle looking things, but they didn't really work very well, so we only did that on one candle. So we decided not to use any more of these. So what we've been doing is we take the clean wee jar and we grab a wick, which they're over there, and we put a little dollop of hot glue on the bottom, like so. Doesn't need much. And then we take and put it as close to the center of the bottom of the jar as you can. It's not perfect. And then you can use this little skewers to kind of push it down and make sure it's got good contact down there. And then because you need your wick to stand up in the middle, not flopping over to the side, we taped two skewers together at one end, and then we place it over with the wick coming up between the two skewers so it kind of holds it in place. And then we'll put another piece of painter's tape at the other side so it's kind of securing the wick. And so then as you're pouring the wax in, this may move around a little bit, but you have plenty of time before it starts to solidify to move the wick where you want it to ultimately be. So that's our little setup that we have been going on making these so far.
Okay, so the first thing we did when creating our candles was to break the blocks of wax apart. We used 2 blocks for each batch that we created. And we just dropped them directly in the bag as Janet is doing there. I think you could probably speed up melting slightly if you cut them into smaller pieces or even grated them, but we didn't really have a problem with that. We sealed the bag with a twist tie, just the regular twist tie like off of a bread bag, and then dropped it into a pot of already boiling water. The wax then took several minutes to melt, but it took a little less time than I expected it to melt. I thought it would take a bit longer with the blocks being so big, but it melted up quite nicely, and we had no problems at all with that.
So now that you can tell it's all been melted, we're gonna take it out of the pot, dry it off a little bit, and then undo the twist tie here. And this is the point where we have added our coloring, if you're gonna do coloring, and or fragrance, which for this one we're going to do a pineapple scent, and we're not gonna do any color for this one, so it's just gonna be the scent. So open the bag, and Julie will drop in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-ish. 19, 20, about 25-ish drops of fragrance, and then she's going to take a little skewer and stir it around a little bit in there. It's easier to see when you have color in whether or not you're getting it distributed, but we'll do our best. And once you think you've gotten it pretty well distributed in there, you take the bag over to your setup here. We just take the bag, hold the top corner and the bottom corner, and just try to make sure you don't spill it everywhere. You're going to pour this into our jars. Into the jar. Trying to avoid the skewers, but it didn't always work. So we're filling it up most of the way, not completely to the top, but most of the way to the top here. And there you go. So now you just have to wait for these to solidify. And so you can sort of see it'll start from the bottom up usually, and you can see it getting lighter and lighter in color, or more opaque in color, I should say, from the bottom to the top. And so that's pretty easy. There we go.
So the candles took a while to solidify. We just left them sitting. The packaging did say to let them sit for 24 hours before lighting them. We did not quite wait that long.
So here we are at the end of our project now. So we successfully made 12 candles in these little wee yogurt containers. And we ended up with about 6 or 7 of these little wax melts from the IKEA silicone molds, which are, I think, technically cupcake molds, but we use them for this. So they will always be wax melt molds. So yeah, things we learned. The package of wax that we used was 4 pounds of wax, so 12 candles and 6 or 7 wax melts from 4 pounds of wax. Go heavier on the coloring than what you think, because they dry quite a bit lighter than what we had anticipated for them. Also a little bit heavier on the scents as well, when you're making them, of course, to whatever taste you may have for scents.
I think this is our darkest one.
We did, yeah, this is the darkest one we made. So we did some combinations. We did lavender vanilla as a scent. We did ocean waves. We did pineapple by itself. We did pineapple and coconut lime together for a sort of pina colada kind of a smell. We did the coconut lime by itself. And then, is that all of them?
Did you say pineapple?
Yeah, pineapple.
Okay.
So quite a few candles, so I think it was a success, much to my surprise. It did definitely help to have more than one person doing this for the stirring of the wax and such. Those melty, or the boiling bags actually worked very well for this process, so I was kind of impressed with that. I didn't really know how those would work to do the melting, but they worked very well. So yeah, I think it's definitely a project that we will do again. We definitely have a lot of the scents and coloring left over, so we just need to buy some more wax to make some more. And Julie needs to eat some more wee yogurt so that we can use these little containers. So yeah, I think it was a success. So one craft down.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you next time.
And what are you gonna do with your candles?
We don't use candles at my house because my husband left them burning all night and almost burned the house down.
What did you do?
Splashed in my face and my eyes. I'm blind. I'm blind.
My eyes! My eyes! Are gonna be like
I'm blind.
bloopers at the end.
Yeah, that might be the bloopers.